Enough final girls and guys in horror movies. Give me more final dogs, please. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today we're continuing Spooktober with my review of the directorial debut of Ben Leonberg starring his dog Indy. Good boy. But before we get started, please leave a like. It really helps out the channel. And at the end of the video, if you think I've earned it, please subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I post. Now on to the review. Starring Indy as himself, Good Boy starts with Indy's fictional owner, Todd, played by Shane Jensen, moving them both out into the country into Todd's old family home. The same family home that Todd's sister believes is cursed, and everyone that's lived there has died. Being a dog, of course, and much more in touch with his surroundings than Todd, it's not long at all before Indy starts noticing a dark presence in his home, one that has a lot more in mind for these best friends than just giving them a little scare. Now let's just address the elephant dog in the room before we get into it. Indy steals the freaking show here. I mean, this is not an already established dog actor. He's literally just the pet of an amateur filmmaker who decided to put him front and center. And holy shit, it actually works. I also will praise them and say that they definitely understand how to not wear out their welcome. This movie's only about 75 minutes, and if it went on longer, I felt like it would have started dragging and gotten a little repetitive. And even though this is a slow burn movie, seriously, if you have the patience of an iPad kid, stay away. It doesn't matter because Indy is just really damn good. When are we starting his Oscar campaign? In every single scene, the way that this dog experiences emotion, fear, curiosity, it's just all so real and expertly done that it's impossible not to put you in his shoes. Pause. That alone makes this experience and premise unique enough and nothing short of intense and harrowing. I mean, if this was just another typical haunted house movie starring a married couple or a family or something, it probably would have felt very generic. But with Indy being the star here, you feel every bit of tension and terror. Unless you're a shitty person, you really don't want to see anything bad happen to this guy. Plus, the decision to film this from the dog's perspective the whole time really goes above and beyond to make this a visually striking movie. The low camera angles, the slow pans, the way everything is lit and filmed in such a dreary way. It all works, pulls you into this world, and maintains a pretty dark tone. And it's genuinely scary in several scenes, between moving shadows and muck monsters and Indy's terrifying visions? There were parts of this movie that had the hair on my neck standing up. Along with a jump scare or two that was crafted and set up so strongly, it actually made me jump. The use of lighting and the way that this film is color graded is insane too. One of the plot points here is that the house doesn't have any power, so Todd has to get a generator running. And that leads to several scenes where Indy notices something and starts wandering around the dark house. And unlike a lot of horror films that show something at night or in the darkness and everything is still completely visible, this film borrowed from the sinister school of shooting dark scenes. Dark here is dark. Black, expansive, focused on for what feels like an eternity to really make you feel unsettled because you have no idea what the hell is in there. It works and adds so much to the bleak tone and visuals here. Plus, the film shows enough to push the PG-13 rating here and there while still leaving a lot to your imagination. Like you may get a glimpse at some blood in a scene or two, or a terrifying look at a fully practical monster, but then a scene or two later, all you'll see is Indy head into the darkness, and then you hear a whine or two before he comes running out. And that might feel like a tease to some people, but I really love the Spielbergian approach to things like this. The movie does build to something at the end and shows you some pretty scary shit along the way. But it also knows exactly when to back off and let your imagination fill in the gaps. And a movie that knows how to do that is an A+ in my book. Hardly any CGI here too, which I really root for. Now, speaking of Indy whining, if you're a dog person, like you really adore dogs, you treat them like they're a member of your family, I don't know if I would recommend this. Director Ben Leonberg has seen all the anxiety and comments under the trailer, so he's already come out and confirmed that Indy does not actually die in the film. But that doesn't mean he's completely safe and cozy throughout the whole movie. There's multiple times where, even though it was simulated and Indy was and is totally fine, he gets scared or hurt in some kind of way, whether he's being grabbed violently, shoved away, or caught in some kind of trap. And like I said earlier, that is way more intense to me than if I was watching a typical horror movie. So just keep that in mind if you're a dog lover and you feel like checking this one out. Now, I guess I should probably get out my minor complaints before I wrap this thing up. As talented as Indy was and as thrilling as this movie can be, even though it was only 75 minutes, there were still a couple of scenes that felt like they were dragging on and on for me. But the fact that this concept was stretched out to feature film length and worked at all is a miracle to me. So I can let this slide, especially when you consider how strong those last 20 minutes are. My other complaint here is that even though I understood the point and why this evil presence was coming after Todd and Indy, I would have liked just a little bit more in terms of like a backstory or motivation or something. I'm not saying I need a drawn out Blumhouse style 5-minute exposition scene from a character that's experienced this before, but it feels like they really tried to make it ambiguous and not spell too much out. And though that does make it more scary, it also makes it feel like it never really goes past the surface with the story depth. Listen to me, talking about the depth of the story in a movie that stars a dog. Besides that though, overall, this is a tense, scary, and beautifully shot film starring probably the best dog actor ever. Come on, let's get that Oscar campaign going. And that's my review of Good Boy. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. Please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I post. While you're at it, you can scroll down the description below, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know if you saw Good Boy and what you thought, and if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. I'll take it in my review of The Strangers Chapter 2, or just over to my channel where you can check out the rest of my reviews. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow for my next installment in the horror movies that made me.